Welcome to the Cedar Rapids Linn County Solid Waste Agency Fiscal Year 2026 Operations and Capital Budget Review. The budget process typically begins in the month of September each year and extends into November. Staff prepares the detail contained within the budget based on several factors such as historical averages, market analysis, and projections. Upon staff's completion, the document is presented to the agency's Finance Committee for a more in-depth review of the budget. This review was done yesterday, November 18th, with action taken by the committee to recommend to the Board of Directors that the budget be placed on file for public review, to set a public hearing to be held on Tuesday, December 17th, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. Notification of the budget will be sent to all member and associate members, both when it is placed on file and once adopted by the Board of Directors. The agency's budget comprises of four components. 1. Operating and non-operating revenues. 2. Operating expenses. 3. Capital expenditures. And 4. Fund balances or cash reserves are the funds used to make current or future purchases without the use of external financing. These funds can be restricted or unrestricted. There are 7 cash reserve funds established by the agency. They are operations, closure post-closure, capital equipment replacement, capital improvements, Phase 5 landfill cell development, Site 1 redevelopment, and future development. This slide presents fees across Iowa for tipping and material recovery or transfer pricing in 2024. As you will see in the next slide, with the rate increases the agency is proposing for FY25, we will still be in line with or below pricing of other agencies across the state. The FY26 proposed fee changes effective July 1st, 2025 are as follows. Landfill tip fee will increase by $2 per ton to $50 per ton. Special waste fees will increase by $14 per ton to $70 per ton. Bulky waste fees will increase by $2 per ton to $80 per ton. Yard waste tip fee will increase by $2 per ton to $32 per ton. Commercial finished compost will increase by $2 per ton to $32 per ton. Commercial hazardous waste disposal rates will increase by 5%. Items the agency will continue to accept from residents at no charge are as follows. Scrap metal, household hazardous materials, commingled recyclables, fluorescent tubes, cardboard, used oil with a 20-gallon maximum per visit, batteries, textiles, books, CDs, tapes, and DVDs, small electronics, bikes, and medical sharps. Items and activities for no charge at the Cedar Rapids downtown facility are finished compost for Linn County residents, quantities are unlimited as supplies last, wood chips, glass delivered from the City of Cedar Rapids, City of Mount Vernon, and City of Fairfax from their residential curbside pickup programs, no charge admission to the use of Mount Trashmore Trails and Overlook. In FY26, $20,000 will be allocated to our community grant program to help fund Willis Dady's mattress demanufacturing program. Landfill tonnage is dropping slightly due to increased diversion efforts, using the 191,700 ton average of FY23 and FY24 for the FY26 budget. Compost tonnages remain steady. This chart of landfill tonnage over the past 5 years show a spike in tonnage in FY21 due to the derecho and a gradual decrease back to normal tonnages by FY23. FY26 tonnage is estimated at 191,700 tons. In FY24, 184,661 tons were landfilled. The waste stream is broken down into 2 segments. 70% is commercial and industrial wastes, 30% is residential wastes. Of the 191,700 landfill tons projected for FY26, the agency will need 134,171 tons to adequately fund landfill operations and administration. 40,844 tons will be needed to fund other programs such as recycling efforts, household hazardous waste disposal, public education, media advertising, and comprehensive planning. The remaining 16,686 tons will be distributed to the restricted and unrestricted cash reserves for future use. The summary page found on page 1 of your packet indicates that total revenues are projected at $13.8 million in FY26, down from $13.9 million in FY25, or a decrease of $100,000. Total expenditures are estimated at $16.1 million in FY26, up from $14.7 million in FY25, or an increase of $1.4 million. For FY26, the agency will transfer approximately $1.1 million to reserves. This revenue pie chart indicates landfill user fees are the main source of revenue for the agency, amounting to 67% of the total. The remaining 33% comes from various other sources as illustrated in this chart. On page 2 of your packet, you can see a summary of the $146,000 decrease in revenue. Landfill tonnage has been estimated at 191,700 tons for FY26, down from 206,900 tons in FY25, resulting in a revenue loss of $242,000. Miscellaneous revenue, site penalties, and fines will make up $82,000 of the loss. Total operating expenses next year is projected to be $17.4 million. 23.3% for employee payroll and benefits, 22.1% for depreciation, 20.2% for capital expenditures, 15.7% purchased services such as engineering, insurance, utilities, and more, 8.4% for supplies and materials such as fuel, equipment repairs, and maintaining buildings and grounds, 7.2% for closure post-closure, and the final 3.2% will be used for all other miscellaneous expenses, including administrative costs, public and employee relations, bad debt write-off, and contributions. Personal services for FY26 is budgeted at approximately $4.1 million, or an increase of $230,400 from FY25. Employee headcount will be steady at 37 full-time equivalent, 1 part-time, and 3 seasonal in FY26. Group insurance rates are increasing due to market rates. Purchase services for FY26 are budgeted at $2.7 million, which remains steady from FY25. Notable decreases include public outreach decreased by $82,500 because we are only currently participating in one partnership with Willis Dady that requires funding, and other miscellaneous decreased by $92,700 due to a reduction in contracted wood grinding services and contracted hauling services. Notable increases include liability, property and vehicle insurance rates increased by $78,000 due to market rates. Landfill gas to energy operating costs increased by $40,000 due to increased maintenance costs. Third-party collection banking services increased by $38,400 due to increased credit card processing fees, and recycling processing services increased by $31,200 due to a rise in contracted rates. Supplies and materials for FY26 are budgeted at $1.5 million, a decrease of $120,400 from FY25. Although buildings and ground maintenance will see an increase of $179,700 due to jetting and repairing leachate lines, most other categories will see decreases. The most significant decreases are in repairs and maintenance to rolling stock, with a decrease of $139,300, and diesel fuel with a decrease of $67,400. There are no major repairs anticipated in FY26, so the prior 2-year average is being used and diesel fuel usage is down due to the disposal of the wood grinder at compost. Other and non-operating expenses for FY26 are budgeted at $1,803,000, an increase of $929,000 from FY25. The two drivers of this increase are an increase of $426,000 for estimated closure post-closure costs based on current and future estimates of total landfill tonnage, remaining permitted landfill airspace, and remaining life, and an account addition for grants and contributions of $500,000. Total capital expenditures for FY26 are estimated at $3.5 million, with depreciation estimated at $3.8 million. The largest capital expense occurring in FY26 is the initial phase of the 5B cell construction. These capital purchases and improvement projects will adhere to the normal public bidding processes and procedures with follow-up review by the board for authorization to move ahead. The 5-year capital expenditure projection currently stands at $17.9 million, with the largest share of the capital expenses of $10.6 million slated for FY27. Upon completion of the Cell 5B construction in FY27, there are currently no additional capital improvement projects scheduled through FY30. Total fund balance will increase approximately $1.1 million from $42,511,218 on July 1, 2025 to $43,607,046 on June 30, 2026. All funds are unrestricted except for closure post-closure, meaning funds can be transferred from one fund to another based on the importance of financing capital expenditures internally. Closure post-closure is the largest fund balance and is mandated and monitored by the Iowa Department of Natural Resources, Chapter 67 of the Iowa State Code. This fund is needed to close the agency's permitted landfill, compost and transfer stations, and maintain closed landfills for a minimum of 30 years after closure date is established. The current estimate of the closure post-closure is $24 million, with the remaining 6 unrestricted funds collectively amounting to $19.6 million on June 30th, 2026. This pie chart depicts the restricted and unrestricted cash reserves as of June 30, 2026. The restricted closure post-closure fund represents 55% of the agency's total fund balance. The remaining 45% is divided amongst the 6 unrestricted funds. In summary, total operating revenues are expected to decrease, while operating expenses are expected to increase in FY26. Total estimated capital equipment acquisitions and capital construction projects of $3.5 million will have little impact on the agency's cash reserves. Total change in balance sheet accounts affecting cash will result in a $1.1 million increase of cash reserves. Agency staff and Finance Committee recommends a motion from the board to place the FY26 operating and capital budget on file for public review and set a public hearing date of Tuesday, December 17, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. Thank you for your time and attention.